What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Now, today we're going to get into the story of how I came about purchasing my MacBook Pro 14-inch. And we have to start with me purchasing or ordering the wrong MacBook Pro 14-inch. But before we even get into that, we have to start off with me ordering the wrong MacBook. Because yes, at first I ordered a M1 MacBook Air. Now, before you say, how do you get from a MacBook Air to a full-blown MacBook Pro? And that's easy. The MacBook Air is definitely a great machine, a great laptop. It has the M1 chip, one of the first Macs to have the M1 chip, and it's light, thin, portable, powerful, all that you can ask from a laptop, really. And with the features that I just said and the price of the MacBook Pro coming in at $999 retail for the base model, I was very intrigued by that and wanted that to be my first entryway into macOS and into just the Mac world. But with the release of the MacBook Pros last fall of 2021, I kind of got thrown off course. Seeing those new features, that screen, those ports, the retro design, and the even more powerful M1 Pro and M1 Max chips, you know, I got big-eyed and I kind of started having interest and wanted those machines. I even did 3 videos on the announcement and the release of them. So if you haven't checked those videos out, definitely go back and give those a look. But yeah, one random Friday, I just said, I want to purchase a Mac now. Like, you know, I have the money saved up to make the purchase, and you know, I want to do it. I'm still enjoying my iPad Pro. You know, I really like that thing. Have been doing all of my creativity work on it so far. But now I want to actually have more serviceable, more professional video editing software with Final Cut Pro and start getting into things like the web development and coding that I mentioned in the previous video. And I wanted a solid platform to get those things done on. So I did it. I went on Apple's website and I ordered a base model M1 MacBook Air. Now, with the base model M1 MacBook Air, it comes with, should be an illegal amount of storage, 256 gigabytes. And I have 256 gigabytes on my iPad Pro, and I've been struggling with that storage and just constantly taking things off, putting it to SSD, putting things back on, and it's been no fun. But I wanted the base model to come in at just under $1,000 for this MacBook Air. So 256 gigabytes of storage, 8 gigabytes of the unified memory, an 8-core CPU and a 7-core GPU, because with the base model MacBook Air, you're getting that bin chip, so 8 CPU and 7 GPU cores. And that really didn't bother me because everything that I've looked at in terms of the M1 chip, even this bin M1 chip, has been great and should exceed anybody who just needs, definitely anybody who needs a computer for basic computing tasks. So if you're just doing a lot of office stuff, web browsing, casual stuff, to even, you know, the amateur professional realm in terms of YouTube videos, creating those, different music projects, and of course like different art projects and stuff too, with the photo editing and just all of those programs that are on macOS. And you know, it felt like the right choice. I ordered it on Friday, and Saturday I was feeling okay about it, But then Sunday hit and I was like, man, this storage is not gonna work. This 256 gigabytes. Feel like I'm making a mistake again. Well, the iPad didn't really feel like a mistake because I had the intentions on it becoming a laptop replacement. But this is like the actual laptop that I'm buying. So not a replacement, this is the actual laptop. So I wanted things to be done more right, especially on the storage side. So I thought about canceling the order and getting more storage. Now with the more storage is more money, and over the course of the weekend I watched YouTube videos about RAM. 8 gigabytes should have been fine for me, but kind of hearing some horror stories of people bogging the 8 gigabytes down and not doing as much as I would expect for the 8 gigabytes to be bogged down. So now I'm thinking 16 gigabytes. So upgrade to 512 gigabytes of storage and 16 gigabytes of RAM. And now I'm looking at about $1.5 grand. And I don't know, just over the corner, the MacBook Pro base model 14-inch comes in at $2 grand. So now I gotta look at the features between the Air and the Pro. So looking at the ports, looking at the display, looking at the better camera, looking at a equally good chassis. A lot of people can prefer the MacBook Air chassis and just like how light it is. But I also like the heft of the Pros too, and just like that solid thunk and the typing experience on it. So all these things are starting to creep in, and I canceled the order, but I end up ordering the base model MacBook Pro 14-inch on that Sunday. So I only had the Air ordered for 2 days before I canceled it. So now I'm with the base model M1 MacBook Pro 14-inch, and I'm feeling good about it. I feel like I dodged a bullet with the Air, but storage creeps in again, because on that base model MacBook Pro, it comes with 512 gigabytes of storage. And now I'm really thinking, I've only doubled the storage. I'm really struggling on this iPad with the 256. Should I just be better safe than sorry and get the 1 terabyte of storage? Now, looking at the 1 terabyte of storage, how these MacBooks are promoted, I guess, the 1 terabyte of storage in terms of the materials and like the sales, even on Amazon, Costco, they're pushing the 10-core CPU, 16-core GPU, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte model in terms of the sales and just what I've seen on promotions. Now the baseline of that comes in with that Bin 1 M1 Pro chip with the 8-core CPU and 14-core GPU. So now I'm thinking, can I use this power? And I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you. The power difference between that Bin chip and I guess the real chip that I have in my MacBook Pro, I'm probably not gonna see the difference, or not gonna see the difference anytime soon. Now, as I get better in terms of using different apps and creating more, maybe it might be worth it, but right now, it's not worth it. And with that storage creep just being the driving factor, I'm like, man, I might as well just cop this, be good, not really have that storage anxiety, and I plan on keeping this machine for at least 4 to 5 years, fingers crossed, and you know, just be good. I mean, I know I still have to use SSD storage and things like that, because no matter what amount of storage you get, these top out at 8 gigabytes of storage. Pretty sure the people that cop the 8 gigabyte, the 8 terabyte, excuse me, models are still using SSDs and different removable storage options. So, you know, that was really getting to me. So I had it ordered for about a week, and I had to bring my AirPods in because they went belly up on me in terms of the sounds and everything that they were making and not connecting. So I had to bring that back to the Apple store and get those checked out. So I'm in the Apple store, I'm looking at the MacBook Pros because I'm excited that I'm getting one. And pro tip, and kind of go off the track, if you're ordering anything off of Apple's actual website like I did, depending on which one or model that you're ordering, the wait times can be forever, especially if you get into customizing things. Now, there was this one option with the base model of MacBook Pro with the charging adapter. And there's a difference between the charging adapter. So the base model one comes with a less powerful charging adapter, and then when you get to the unbend chip and the higher storage, it comes with a 97 watt charger adapter. So, but you're able to get that on the base model. I think it's like a $20 upgrade. So even just doing that is gonna push that base model, which Apple should have more of, because typically with electronics, the base model they make more of. But once you start getting to customizing, it's gonna push it out. So I think my order was like 2 to 3 weeks away. So I'm in the store seeing these actual things, get to talking to one of the Apple Store workers, and they have the 1 terabyte model in store. So that 10-core GPU, 10-core CPU, 16-core GPU. I'm just like, man, I could really cancel this order right now. Just get it, be done. And that's what I did. And I won't go on to say how I went from $1,000 just about before tax and all that good stuff with the M1 MacBook Air choice to the roughly $2,500 with the MacBook Pro. So yeah, I got, but I'm satisfied with my purchase thus far. I'm good on definitely the storage, the 1 terabyte. Hey, I'm solid on that. And besides, if I wanted to go out further, my wallet probably couldn't take it. And the processor is cool. Probably not gonna tap that out anytime soon. The RAM for me is cool, especially with the SSD storage, so the swapping shouldn't really be a huge issue for me. And the screen is amazing, and the 14 inches on the screen too, so the size of the screen and the quality of the screen is solid. And the ports, using that a lot much more than I expected, just going from my SD card from my camera to the SSD external storage that I have that I back up everything on just in case anything goes wrong. So me using it day to day, I'm solid that I made the right decision. Yes, these machines are, a good bit of money, but if you plan on keeping it for a while, like myself and like a lot of people do, just be solid in what you need and have that out from the get-go, because I think that's what got me just kind of not being solid and wishy-washy in terms of what I wanted. I could use this would be nice, and not having those needs and wants clearly set out. And now I have this machine, and like I said, I'm no regrets, satisfied with it, but next time I'll be more planning in my purchasing decision, or at least I hope. So that's the story of how I ended up with my MacBook Pro 14-inch. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you plan on purchasing one anytime soon, did I get got? How do you plan on making your purchase smarter than I did? Let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video. Be easy and peace.